Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I know it's been a tough, really trying few days for members of the XRP community, for holders of XRP, and I just want you to know I am right there with you. I feel just as awful as anyone else, thanks to what Jay Clayton has decided to do. It's been tremendously harmful, and there's no getting around that. So I thought perhaps we could use a little bit of positivity because there are all sorts. Despite there being, I'm not going to deny it, there's a ton of people selling XRP. There are also a ton of people that have a much more optimistic outlook for how things are going. And so I thought we could all use a little bit of pep at this point. And so I thought I'd just share with you some comments from people in the XRP community that, I think recognize what's at stake here, but long term think that there's a path forward here. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I certainly don't have any sort of law background, so I don't know exactly how things are going to shake out with the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. But I made my choice a long time ago, years ago, and I've been saying this in a number of videos recently because I know not everybody listens to all of the stuff that I put up. But you should, damn it! This is top tier. But look, I always knew that something like this could happen. And, the bottom line is the people that are selling, and again, I don't blame anybody for selling right now. I get it's a scary time if you want to do that. I don't think less of you at all. Do what you think you got to do. But for me, it doesn't change my calculus at all in that, the people that are choosing to sell and resulting in a lower current market price for XRP, like that is not something that is going to determine whether or not XRP is ultimately determined to be a security within the United States. So I'm waiting for that. The rest of it, And so where I'm coming at from this is I'm not going to buy or sell based off of market cycles and the emotional aspect of I've never done. I'm not going to, absolutely not. And then from a fundamental perspective, this is something where you could certainly call it a fundamental thing. But the way I'm looking at it is I still don't know how this is going to go. And I've decided that I want the exposure, even knowing that there could have been potentially. I didn't think it was likely, but you never know. You didn't know exactly for sure what it would look like and how. I still don't know how it's going to pan out. Once this is all litigated, kind of hope there's a settlement, frankly. But I don't want to. Not only do I not want to time markets when there's it's just emotional buyers and sellers, I also am not going to try and time what happens in terms of clearing up this litigation, because here's the thing. I've been accumulating for 3 years. I started, it was November of 2017. And I paused it a few months ago, and I publicly stated that I stopped buying XRP because I was like, okay, if I don't stop now, I think I have a problem. It's like, I need to just like tap the pause button. And so for me, I don't know exactly what the timeline is going to be for clearing this up. And if XRP took off after I sold my XRP, if I were to do that, which I'm not going to do, I've decided to just hold through this no matter what happens. I'd really be beating myself up if I went against what I said I would never do. And so, for me, we're not going to really have any sort of clarity until this is cleared up legally. And I understand when that happens, when that word comes out finally, if it's bad news, it could be a very scary day for me. I got that because that could be an indication that things could seriously be problematic. But I'm not counting on that happening personally. And if it goes the way that I think and hope that it will, then I would expect XRP's price to bounce back. That's my unprofessional opinion. This is not financial advice, just sharing my everyday Joe Schmo opinion here. And if I didn't have exposure when that happened, I'd not be happy with myself, especially if I didn't have an on-ramp to where I could at least go jump in if there starts to be a green candle or something like that. Because understand, the rest of the world's going to continue to trade XRP despite what happens within the United States here. Because I think the United States, I can't remember the percentage of it's 85 or 95% of trading is outside of the United States here. And so I was reading through this article on your screen. I'm not going to go through it. It's just titled XRP Price Faces a Rocky Road to Recovery Ahead of SEC's Ripple Lawsuit. And they kind of wrap up by noting that Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, he is steadfast, noting that despite the fact he actually had an out, the SEC said, hey, you can settle with us and then you're scot-free. He's like, no. He's going to fight this. And I don't think that he'd do that if he weren't firmly confident that he's in the right and that Ripple is in the right in what they've done. There are certainly, on top of that, are no fraud charges against Ripple. It's all about have they sold an unregistered security. So that'll, the court systems are just going to have to clear that up. So let me share with you some thoughts from other XRP holders in the community here. Here's chart analyst Credible Crypto, who's been gaining a massive following, now up to 89,500 followers. And he wrote the following, and he retweeted Coinbase's early announcement of the fact that they're not delisting XRP, but they are suspending trading. So he retweeted that and wrote the following. As mentioned in my last video on XRP, U.S. exchange delistings should not surprise. It's the international exchanges that bring in 90+% of the volume that I really care about here, as them delisting would be of much more concern. XRP was fine before Coinbase and will be fine after. And so worth mentioning this also, I'll be brief on this because I did mention this in my last video, but here's a title from you today. XRP will continue to trade as crypto asset, not security, in Japan, SBI Group says. So there is enough regulatory clarity in other parts of the world, and I think that it just needs to get worked out here in the United States. And that's why I said for me, and again, none of this is financial advice, I want to be super clear that if you want to get out of XRP, just do it. It's perfectly fine. But I decided that I want the exposure because I don't know when things might change, and I'm just telling you, like, I would beat myself up if I didn't have that exposure and it went up. And I still feel fully confident. So in the meantime, I'm not going to worry about the short-term price action. I'm just fine. Also, I've only invested what I'm willing to lose. So if if it doesn't go the way that I hope and think that it will, then I'll still be fine. It'd still suck. I admit that, of course. Suck a big old fat one, but I'll be fine. So just make sure. I hope you guys have done your own research. I hope you've invested responsibly and not over leveraged yourselves, certainly. But here's another tweet from Credible Crypto. Fun fact, Bitcoin's first major correction after its first major rally off of its bear market lows was a 72% retracement. XRP's recent dump after its first major rally off its bear market lows was a 73% retracement. This is crypto, this is normal, these are shakeouts. And so I don't know how low the price will go, but there always will be I think anyway, some amount of people that are always just going to hold XRP. And so most of the people that could have gotten shaken out, and I don't mean that, like, and by the way, if you have, I'm not insulting you. I just mean, like, if you've decided you need to exit, then, do it. But there's always going to be certain people that aren't going to respond to that. So I don't know where we find a bottom, but there's somebody at the receiving end of what you're selling that's like, oh yeah, this is golden. This is what I want. Next, here's a tweet from XR Patience, who wrote 48,000% gains. Remember, last time XRP hit its all-time high, it wasn't listed on Coinbase. 95% of XRP's trading happens outside the US. Remember, the gains last time were 48,000% without Coinbase. When the alts start running, XRP will run with them. Here's another tweet. If it would load, there we go. This comes from Frecky, XRP community member. And so actually he retweeted something from Esoteric XRP, and I'll read that first. Actually, I like it. There were just too many people in XRP anyways. And it's like, I don't share that sentiment. I don't come at it from like that. But anyway, I'm just reading what this individual wrote. And it writes, everyone was thinking they are going to get rich. It never happens that way. The entire community cannot get rich. Only a smaller fraction going against the herd. Buy when there's blood in the streets. And, I think it's certainly the case that even with Bitcoin, even though most of the early holders, they never ended up rich because they sold earlier than a level that would have allowed them to get there. So that part is technically true, but I would never say that too many people in XRP. But Frecky retweeted that and wrote, I suspect international players will be buying it up while the U.S. can't in January. We shall see. And then here's another tweet from Dual the XRP, who wrote, Coinbase listing XRP did nothing to the price, just like Coinbase freezing it won't do much. To which Frecky responded, just will leave United States out of buying and selling, so international can take over with less liquidity and larger price swings. Probably make some people a pretty penny too. And that's certainly the case, with there being less money, that always means that there's an opportunity for greater volatility, which is why you've seen and the thing about this, as money continues to come to the space, you have a larger market cap for the entire asset class. In order to get a doubling, tripling, quadrupling effect in terms of price appreciation for any crypto, it takes a lot more money flowing in. So if some is flowing out right now, it could get more volatile. That's certainly very possible. And so people getting in, Frecky's making a good point. It's certainly perhaps the case. We'll see if people do make a pretty penny indeed. And Frecky, he shared, and this was fascinating, and I shared this in the last video, but it's definitely worth repeating. On a day where Coinbase was, announced they're suspending anyway XRP trading, there was this from Grayscale. You can see today, December 28th, Grayscale XRP Trust. It's up 8.47%, and this was admittedly out before the announcement with Coinbase. But it's interesting because these are accredited investors who typically have a longer time horizon and so on and so forth, and perhaps more money to put in. And so that was up fine again before the announcement from Coinbase, but on open markets, things were just trading sideways over that time period. And so it's just interesting to see that these particular individuals felt differently. They're like, nope, we're going to buy it. All right, next, here's a tweet from Johnny on Twitter. Even if it took you a decade to make back what you lost on XRP, it'll take lifetimes to make back what you could have made if/when this thing moons. I'm fine with that risk/reward, not going to chase these meaningless gains you keep calling a bull market. And so my general sentiment is the same. That's why I just want to make sure I have exposure to it, and then everything else happening in the background, look, it's either going to go to zero or be worth a ton more in the future, I suspect. That's what I've always thought for years. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't pretend to, but I've been in this for years, and I just want that exposure. All right, here's a tweet from Kieran Kelly, well-known XRP community member, who wrote, "Any exchanges offering 10-cent XRP so I can buy in now and not have to wait a couple of weeks?" And so this is an individual who is still long-term bullish for XRP. He happened to have made a strategic move where I think he said publicly that he sold at around 51 cents when he started to see kind of some of the news. And so he got out completely, and he's waiting to buy back in. So it was a strategic move for him. And so anybody that does that, I say props to you if you pull that off. I'm just like too much of a scaredy cat to be like, because I don't know what news is going to pop out that I couldn't have foreseen that would result in XRP going up. And even though I thought, and I've been pretty transparent about this on the channel, like, this isn't good, obviously. And so in terms of the direction I would have thought things would go after the SEC and all the price action, yeah, I thought more likely than not it would not be good, but I wasn't willing to reduce my exposure with XRP. And so that was just my personal choice. But here, Kieran Kelly did, and that's perfectly fine. So currently he's not holding, but he's waiting to buy back in, and he thinks it's going to go lower, and he's going to do so. And so for someone like me, maybe it gets that low, and I don't know, maybe if it gets that low, maybe I will buy more. You know what I mean? So we'll just see. And then here's a tweet from DIY Investing. 90% of people were wrong about Bitcoin after the COVID crash. Most of the top analysts on crypto Twitter were bearish, waiting for new lows. Did those lows come? Question mark. Well, obviously no. Same case can be made for XRP. Literally everyone is bearish, expecting new lows. Last I checked, most of you aren't accurate. All right, and again, the rest of the world is going to keep trading it, so it'll be interesting to see how the price unfolds in the coming days, weeks, and months. Here's a tweet from Stephen Bull Deep, and it was in response to one of my tweets, which read as follows: "In the coming weeks and months, there may very well be scary sounding news regarding Ripple and XRP. Such news may result in panic selling, but such emotional selling will have no bearing on whether the SEC proves in court XRP to be a security. I will be holding regardless." And so I stand firm on that. That's my choice. And if you guys think I'm idiots for that, that's fine. I don't think you're idiots if you buy or sell or hold. I think you're super cool. You can make fun of me though. It's perfectly fine. And so that's just it. I want the exposure, period, and I will not deviate from that, even if it means I lose everything, which I don't think will be the case, but even if so, that is my decision. Stephen Bull Deep responded, "So do I, but it is frustrating to see other coins pumping. That's just my emotion. Logically, all the negative news won't change the fact that XRP is independent from Ripple." Yeah, and I'm certainly counting on that shining through during litigation, or hopefully that'd be even better if that's acknowledged and then we see settlement rather than litigation, but who knows. And Billy Beckett, in response to that tweet that I shared, wrote, "I'm with you, bro. Hold fast and buy more." Well, thank you, my friend. I do appreciate the sentiment. And then here you go. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to mention this. So there's a tweet here from Kumo, who wrote, and this is a quote. It's from the FCA, so it's the Financial Conduct Authority from the UK, which has clarified that the XRP is not a security, right? It's a utility token. So they wrote, consumers should be mindful of the absence of certain regulatory protections when purchasing unregulated crypto. Unregulated crypto, for example, BTC, ETH, XRP, etc., are not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, and consumers do not have recourse to the FCA service. And so there you go. And that came out, it may have been this past summer. I can't remember exactly when, but I think that's when the news broke from the UK FCA. And they're like, yep, there you go, clarity. The United States, for some reason, disagrees, which is the only country on the entire planet, but there we are. And here was a tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, Alex Cobb, who wrote, "Ha ha ha, call me insane, I'm getting my bag bigger." So there you go. And people are. So look, I understand the price is going down because there's more sellers than buyers. I understand all of this. But there's always somebody at the receiving end who thinks, yeah, I feel differently. I feel differently. And so there you go. So whatever you're doing, just look, I'm totally sympathetic because I feel like we're all the victims of what has happened with the SEC, so I'm right there with you. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll tell you what, I started this channel December 14th, 2018 at the bottom of the bear market. And I've been, most of the time I've been running this channel, it's been a bear market. And I'm going to persist. I'm not going to stop this thing no matter what. I have too much fun following this. I think it's too important. I think crypto is truly transformative, and I'm not going to stop. So as long as you guys want to keep hanging out with me, I'm going to be here. And that's it, period. But I guess I can wrap up there. Would love to hear what you think in the comments below. But you are not alone. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.